Okay, hello everyone to this A Connector video cast. I have been doing a series on Taiwan Semiconductor. And so I'm not continuing where I left off last time. I'm going to jump to this. I will finish that out. But right now there's some news, and I thought this was good to share. It does pertain to Taiwan Semiconductor as well as some other Taiwanese chip foundries. And it's from, as you can see, Nikkei Asia. And the headline is What Taiwan Risk. Now, for transparency, I've mentioned before, I live in Taiwan. I've been living here for a long time. Taiwan Semiconductor is of great interest to me, and I think is extremely significant to both Taiwan and the rest of the world. And I think this article touches on some of the key things that Taiwan Semiconductor's role is in terms of the world economy, business, and also geopolitical. So it says island's chip makers embark on a $120 billion buildup. 20 new fabs ready or in pipeline, dwarfing planned investments in US and Japan. So you can see the picture here. Taiwan Semiconductor has got foundries, new plants going up, several locations around the island. So it says here, work on Taiwan TSMC's new plants continues late into the night and on holidays as the chip maker rushes to bring more capacity online. Okay, so Taiwan's chip makers have launched an unprecedented investment spree worth around 120 billion that will strengthen their grip on the global market, even as the U.S. warns against over-reliance on an island at risk of a Chinese invasion. Okay, that being said, there are some large investments that TSMC is making in the States. I know Intel is also making some new investments in the States, but those are completely dwarfed by what TSMC is doing locally within Taiwan. And I think there's a method to their madness. Southern Taiwan Science Park was a hive of activity in late May. Trucks rumbled along the road, hauling in materials like steel beams for the forest of cranes, building ever more chip factories at the site. The industrial park in the city of Tainan. Okay, so Tainan is the original capital and the original commercial center of Taiwan in southern Taiwan. It began as a production hub for Taiwan Semiconductor, the world's leading contract chip maker. It is home to some of the most advanced chip fabs in the world, producing processors for Apple iPhones, amongst other things. TSMC has just completed 4 new facilities in the area. Still hungry for capacity, the company is now building 4 more fabs there for production at the cutting edge 3 nanometer level. Each of these locations will cost around 10 billion US dollars. Look around. We're in a rush to finish construction at this TMC site too, said one of the construction workers, laboring in temperatures around 35 degrees C in Fahrenheit. That's about, I guess around 90-ish. Everyone here works overtime until late at night, and we come in on the holidays too. So they're really cranking it out. The construction boom extends beyond TSMC and the city of Tainan. At least 20 new factories are under construction or recently completed across the island. Nikkei research shows, stretching from New Taipei City, which is up in northern Taiwan, to Kaohsiung in the south. Kaohsiung, or Kaohsiung is the English spelling, is just south of Tainan, so it's the biggest southern city in Taiwan. Builders continue Foundry, United Microelectronics Corp, UMC, and memory chip maker Nanya Technology. These projects together represent over 2 million square meters of floor space. So a meter is about close to a yard, more or less, the size of more than 40 baseball stadiums. So this is a lot of space. No other place in the world is seeing such a buildup of chip-making capacity. Investments for TMC's planned U.S. plant in Arizona and its proposed plant in Japan's Kumamoto Prefecture will cost $12 billion and $8.6 billion, respectively. Kumamoto lies on the island of Kyushu, which is about the same size as Taiwan. Taiwan already leads the world in chip production and accounts for over 90% of all capacity in advanced semiconductor devices. Data from the Semiconductor Industry Association and other sources shows the remainder is found in South Korea. Some U.S. policymakers argue that an overdependence on Taiwanese chips creates a global supply chain risk. President Joe Biden signed an executive order to bolster American supply chains for semiconductors and other critical industrial inputs in February 2021 amid a growing chip shortage. Okay, well, major capital investments like this and technological investments like this take some time. They just don't happen overnight. And it's not just like say, hey, let's do it. It's not like Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. I mean, there's a lot of details and a lot of contingencies involved. Washington has since reached out to Taiwanese companies and authorities, inviting them to invest in the U.S. and build alternative supply chains. But the talks have made slow progress as the strategic nature of the semiconductor industry renders quick decisions difficult. Semiconductors are the one topic on which Taipei can engage with Washington on an equal footing. Well, look at that. And making concessions too readily would give up that diplomatic leverage. Despite, or perhaps because of the geopolitical risks the island faces, Taiwanese are hoping to keep as much domestic chip making capacity as possible. Well, that makes sense because it's basically their main bargaining chip with the US. Now, let's face it, America obviously is one of the biggest, and if not the most powerful nations in the world, as everybody knows, even with current economic difficulties. But Taiwan is a small country that has a history with China, and it's very complicated. I'm not going to go into that here. I've talked about that before. But basically, Taiwan wants to maintain neutrality, wants to maintain a peaceful status with China, but they have a lot of business interests which they want to maintain and carry on and build. And this, obviously, one of the key ones is semiconductors, microchips. And so, obviously, the fact that they are such a key supplier, they will get more cooperation from more powerful nations like Japan and like the United States. So there's definitely a method to their madness for committing these kind of resources. And there's a market, let's face it. I mean, the market, for these things continues to grow with the powerful computers, with all the different, electric vehicles and all these different IoT devices, et cetera. There's just, an ever expanding market for products that need microchips. So with so much semiconductor production concentrated in Taiwan, the world can just abandon it, said a source in the island's chip industry. Okay. So getting back to other things, I want to do a little bit of ad for Marlin and Associates, which is my company, and we are involved in engineered product development, production, and particularly we are focused on injection molds and injection molded plastics and related products. There are many products that are part plastic and part metal, some consumer items, some medical items, where basically you have a metal part and then maybe the grip, the handle is over molded onto it. So we do things like that. So we, in addition, working with a lot of plastics and doing a lot of plastic products and tooling for them, we also do combination hybrid products, basically metal and plastic. So that's Marlin and Associates. If you have any interest in that, let me know. We're happy to talk to you about it and see if we could provide more information and possibly help on that. So for today, this will be our economic news for Taiwan in this particular case, also concerning TSMC, as well as some of the other chip makers. Hope it's of interest to you. We'll continue to do this. This is something that's of a lot of interest to me. So on that note, I'll say goodbye now. 再见. So thanks for coming by. Make sure you like us. Make sure you friend it. We don't say friend it here on YouTube. Here it's liking, because we need at least 1,000 not likes, subscribe. We need 1,000 subscribers to get to the next level, to where if we wanted to, we could actually get some advertising and support on this. But in any case, we appreciate your time. And so if you please subscribe and please like the video to trigger the algorithm and make that magic mojo that YouTube has. And by the way, if you didn't know, that YouTube was actually co-founded by a Taiwanese guy named Steve Chen, who's, I think, been living in the United States for a long, long time, enjoying his life over there because he made mountains of money when he sold off to Google. So that's what we have for today. It's been great sharing this with you. Talk to you soon. Bye now.